Aloha, Lynn. Aloha, Dion.
Hi, Bennett.
Hello.
You look official, Dion. Is that a jacket? It's cold. You're. I can't. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry, I was on mute just a moment there.
I can hear you too. It's recording already.
You can pause it. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Seems still recording. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait. I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute, okay? I just need to access something.
All right. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
Bennett, do you have people joining from the room?
Yeah, they're in the room, but that's the one that WDC room 70. So it's you see it? Yeah. Most people prefer online.
Mm.
Lainala, is there anyone else from your organization that's joining us? Hi, Carla.
Hi there.
Aloha, Bennett.
Aloha.
No, it's just
Oh.
me today.
Okay, no worries. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Bennett.
Hello, hello. Long time no talk. I know.
All right. So it's 1:30. So good afternoon, full agenda. So we're gonna call our meeting to order at 1:30 p.m. So my name is Dion Dizon. I'm the vice chair of this committee. Our chair, Keith DeMello, unfortunately had a last minute conflict in his schedule, so he apologizes, but rest assured he'll be joining us before the end of this meeting. So this is a public meeting under the open meeting law. The committee members and public guests are viewing in Zoom. And we have staff at the Department of Labor, excuse me, at the DLIR office room 317, in case members and guests who wish to meet at an on-site location. So to start the meeting and to document in the minutes, I will ask members and guests to introduce themselves with a name and organization. Please be mindful that the chat box is disabled, so we're all gonna have to do this in person. Okay, so if you would. So we'll start with Denise.
Afternoon, Denise Pacheco, Workforce Development Division, Hilo.
Thank you. Carla,
Carla Kurokawa with Alulike. Good afternoon.
good afternoon. Lena Ala,
Aloha, Lena Ala Nakamura with the City Department of Community Services, Work of 8 Division.
Matt,
Matt Stevens with the Hawaii Workforce Funders Collaborative.
Lynn,
Aloha, I'm Lynn Araki Regan, Administrative Services Officer with the State Department of Labor.
thank you. Rona,
Hi, Rona Fukumoto with Lanikido Pacific in the Workforce Development Council.
awesome. And not last, but not least, Bennett.
Bennett Misalucha, Executive Director of Workforce Development Council. Mahalo, Vice Chair.
No problem. We have one person still connecting to audio. Suzanne, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, you're muted still.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. Apologies to join late. Suzanne Scholl, Chief Operating Officer, Aloha United Way.
Welcome. And for anyone in room 317?
Hi, this is Bear from IT.
Okay. Thank you. And Christine, who just joined.
Hello. You want me to introduce myself?
Yes, name and organization, please.
Okay. My name is Christine Bowley. I'm the University of Hawaii System Director of Workforce Development.
Welcome. Okay, so on the agenda, you'll notice that we have the chair's report as the first item. We're going to flip that order since Chair Keith DeMello is not going to join us till a little bit later. Instead, we're going to have our roundtable discussion to proceed first. Then after the discussion, we'll hear from our Executive Director, Bennett Misalucha. By then, hopefully our chair will be able to join us and to discuss the important topics in his report. Now, shall we proceed? Anything before we proceed? All right. So just before we actually start the discussion, just want to take a moment to discuss, to review actually why we're having this discussion. And so one of the responsibilities of the WDC is the development and continuous improvement of the workforce development system in the state. And since the AJCs are the first line of defense for our workforce development, it's important to focus our attention on them. So our committee, the Special Projects Committee, was tasked to explore how to make the AJCs more accessible, more welcoming, and become known in the community. So as valuable resources for job seekers and employers alike, that's important to elevate the profile. Now, the primary focus of the roundtable discussion is to better understand the current state of our AJCs. I decided to just down my lunch right before the meeting. So I'm like, excuse me. To the current state of our agencies and identify challenges that they face and to explore innovative solutions. So we did this exercise in July of this year, but we didn't really get to finish the discussion. So today we're devoting 45 minutes, to the interaction that we didn't get to finish last time. So we're gonna check in on our time at some point. If we need more time, then we'll adjust accordingly. So I just want to reassure everyone that we're not here to point fingers or blame. It really is an exercise to learn from each other. And in other words, this is a safe space. And I hope we continue to treat each other with respect. It goes without saying that we use appropriate language and tone. Any questions as to the purpose of our discussion? No, okay. So the summary of what folks shared back in July, and Benette's gonna pull it up in the slides. So the main challenges, as you can see here, that the AJC is currently facing and delivering services to the public. So one, and I know you can read, can everybody see the screen okay? Is that big enough text? Okay, and so underutilization of services, services not being housed in the same facility. Agencies finding challenges providing comprehensive and integrated services, signage issues, just hard to find physically, and also technology barriers, for clients. Okay, so Benette's going to be putting up the questions. So now's the discussion part. So Benette's going to be putting up the questions so we can all contribute. And the first set of questions is about community engagement.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
It kind of did something funky. So
Yeah,
for
looks
some
like-
reason, yeah, it like added slides. There you go. See my slides now. Okay, that's the question.
Okay, so the first question on community engagement: how do you engage with local communities and stakeholders to promote your American Job Centers? And what partnerships have been most beneficial for your AJC? And how can we replicate these partnerships across other locations? Don't be shy. Lane, if you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I'll go ahead and start, Vice Chair.
Thank you.
In regards to community engagement, about a year ago, what we did was we established recruiters in each of the WIOA programs, and that has allowed our staff to be fully focused on being in the community, where they engage with community, with individuals as well as partners, so that we can meet them where they're at. This strategy has proven to be very effective in increasing enrollments. In regards to key partnerships, we have established partnerships with 10 libraries that give us island-wide accessibility. And these has proven to be very, very significant in our ability to meet with individuals, to enroll them in our programs, and also to provide information on our services to the library guests. It's been so useful and positive that I recently got permission from the state librarian, as well as the director of operations, to increase our engagement to 3 other libraries that our recruiters have been utilizing already for individual appointments. So that has, and I believe last year I did an introduction to the WDD, Carol Kanayama and Layla Shar to the leadership of the state libraries. So I'm not sure where that's at, but we did make that connection, and the libraries have been just very, very supportive of what we're doing. Also, what we've done to increase our partnerships is we are now devoting our energies to military spouses.
Oh,
So currently, and we started this probably about 6 months ago. Currently, we got approval to be at 2 military installations. That is Army Schofield, as well as Pearl Harbor Joint Base Hickam. We are standing by for Marine Corps Base, Kaneohe Base, to come on board, but 3 of the installations have shown favorable support of our partnership. There's a slew of other relationships that we've stood up within the last year, which has increased our enrollments to the adult program. At this point, being that we started the new program year, July 1, I believe we already enrolled over 100 individuals into our WIOA adult programs. So now we are laser focused on our dislocated, our youth, and as well wrapping up our Quest enrollments as well.
wow. No, that's awesome. And then I remembered you had mentioned that the last time you said that also it was part of your enrollment process to focus on the first. What is that also in conjunction, with this? It was simplifying your enrollment process. Was that correct? Before matching it to services?
Yes, absolutely. That is part of our engagement strategy. It's making sure that we only focus on getting the documentation that meets the requirements of WIOA. Everything else will need to come to be as we work with the individual customers to establish that partnership, so that we can navigate them through their journey in WIOA. And we need to be mindful also that as a government entity, most individuals, most citizens interact with government to renew their legal documents, to pay their taxes, or to stand responsible for an alleged violation of a crime, right? So sometimes that comes with a lot of
Baggage.
apprehension,
Mhm.
right? So we always need to be mindful of that, so that when we meet with them, we focus on their needs. We don't overwhelm them with a lot of paperwork, so we can really begin to establish that relationship. I also want to add that we are moving towards digital signatures, so that a customer can sign the necessary applications with us using their phone if they don't have a laptop. We also will still have the pen and paper applications available for those customers that choose not to use digital signatures. We worked that out with our fiscal team, as well as the board, to make sure that everyone was on board. So that got launched, I think last week or the week before, after all our staff were trained. Now, I just want to say the digital signature is not just WIOA, it's for all the programs within the Work Hawaii division, and we implement at this time 12 different programs.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And so, Danette, before we take your question, I just wanted to acknowledge we have Doug Adams who joined, Kevin Kimizuka, and David Rodriguez. With
Thank
that,
you.
go ahead. Danette.
Yeah, I have a question for Elainala, and this is really for the benefit of those who may not be as familiar, because in the room are folks who are not necessarily familiar with the protocols that we have. So at the end of the day, you are the performance measures is really more technical, right? So, and I know we have another meeting about that, but could you share with us how you count how successful your engagements are, or do you count the number of people that you interact with, and then from there, how many of those actually found jobs? How do you really determine how successful you are?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Bonnet. There are two main ways. We have a dashboard. Work Hawaii has a dashboard which is on the Department of Community Services website. There we have numbers of our expenditures as well as our enrollments in our primary workforce development and housing assistance programs. We also have on there what we call the touches. So we have mass touches. So these are individuals that we encounter at presentations or events, such as our hiring event, when we're at the library, just disseminating information. This week, for the whole week, we're at Tripler, participating in their health and their health fair. So we categorize touches in two different areas. Mass touches is when we're disseminating a lot of information. Then high touches are those actual conversations we have that are detailed with what's their career goal, yeah, what are they interested in. So these conversations are the ones that lead to enrollments. Our enrollments, as you know, are also listed on the dashboard, but they also are validated through HireNet Hawaii.
Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions for Lei? Anything to add?
I guess I'm curious
Wanna-
how other, how
Yeah.
other islands,
Okay. Lynn?
local areas.
Yeah, Lynn had actually started to say something. Go ahead, Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry, Annette. Just wanted to share that, while we're talking about AJCs, I received word that Leala Cook, a recruiter with American Job Center, wishes to set up a desk right outside of the UI claims office, which I think is a great idea, because those who are seeking unemployment, should be seeking job opportunities and looking to see like what's out there and how AJC can help. So the thing is, the reason why we just haven't moved forward with anything just yet is that we're in the process of getting Attorney General's opinion on this, because I think when this idea was brought up a few years ago, the Deputy AG who was assigned to help us had concerns that maybe it was violating people's right to privacy, because whoever was the recruiter outside of the UI claims office would be seeing like who's walking into the UI claims office, who's filing unemployment claims, and it's kind of, there's like some security concerns or privacy concerns. But we are in the process of seeking the opinion of our current Deputy AG in the hopes that maybe she might have a different opinion than the previous Deputy AG who advised us a few years ago. I will keep you apprised, but I hope that can work out, because to me, it's a perfect venue to be reaching out to people who are seeking or who are applying for unemployment benefits. They should be the ones really having quick, easy access to AJC. Thank you.
So if I can add to what Lynn shared, so the Big Island, so our service providers for WIOA, which was the Goodwill Industries, they started an activity similar to that. But here on the Big Island, where our unemployment office is located, is actually co-located with Department of Human Services, First to Work, County of Hawaii Office of Housing, Section 8. So we have numerous community engaging type of offices, welfare, all of that. And so they sort of situated their table so that they were accessible to any individual coming into the, excuse me, coming into the building. And so that was actually a good thing. So it wasn't just targeting unemployment, although that was the hope, because we did want to get, they did want to enroll the DW clients, but it was accessible to anyone, even our houseless or individuals who are going to HUD or Section 8 for services as well. So that was a good thing. But I did want to also add on the community engagement piece for the Big Island, and then Doug, you can jump in. So how do we engage with local communities and stakeholders? First, I think it's important to note that a lot of the disconnect that we're seeing, well, anyway, on the Big Island, was a direct result of COVID. And so it seems like that 2-3 years just really did a number on our AJC. Prior to that, we were always had lots of foot traffic and people engaging with our American Job Center. In between of that, we did relocate. And so we're really trying to promote engaging the community and getting people back to the job center. So I like to say that we almost attend every career fair, job fair, resource fair, clinic, health and wellness clinic, any event that you can think of. The American Job Center has a table that's there, whether it's during the weekdays or the weekend. We just did a table at the VA clinic this last week, where we were able to engage with the veteran population, and then also in Kona, I believe R&D put up a American Job Center table as well in Kona. And so we've really, and then we're going to be doing the spouses fair that's coming up at the military recreation center, I believe on November 2nd. So we're really engaging in the community. I think an area that we can improve on, which we are improving on, is not just thinking of the Big Island as East Hawaii, West Hawaii, doing events in Hilo and Puna, and then or doing events in Kona. I think if we're going to start to get the word out again, because our American Job Center is located in Hilo and we serve the entire island. That's a big undertaking to serve the entire island out of Hilo. But what we will start doing is to actually start targeting our rural communities. You know, so not just the Kailua Konas and the Hilo and or Pahoa. We need to start going to Ka'u. We need to start going to Kohala. We need to start going to Honoka'a, Pauilo. We need to start targeting our small rural communities, because that is the numbers that we're seeing for unemployment or different needs. And so we're going to be working on that and working with our partners to see how we can, you know, focus on events that might be happening in the small town. Or if there's not an event, well, we can go outside of a KTA in Honoka'a and have an American Job Center table, one event, or accessing events like the rodeos and things like that, just to bring the word out. So thank you. Doug, you might, if you want, you can add.
Thank you, Denise. Okay. So anyone else have anything regarding community engagement, the questions that are on the screen?
Yes, Vice Chair, I'd like to add a couple of more strategies that I failed to mention earlier. One is media outreach. We understand that DOL now allows for WIOA funds to be used for media outreach. And so I put together what we call requests for quotes, worked with our purchasing division on that. Now I'm standing by for our fiscal team to approve that funding that has already been approved by our Oahu Workforce Development Board but the fiscal team is standing by to get validation from the Workforce Development Division that budget modifications have been approved. And I have the support of Harrison on the board, who is moving towards getting that validation for us. Once we do that, we will work with the qualified bidder on an outreach campaign that we're very excited about. We also are working with our Department of Transportation with the city to get placards up mid-January to mid-February on about 300 to 450 buses here on Oahu. We're going to pick those routes that we feel travel in the communities that many of our customers reside in. So we're very excited about that. Yeah, that's all I wanted to add at this time. Thank you.
No, that's actually a big one, because I think in part of the like, just, you know, in terms of use of media, not just, you know, traditional, that's, sorry. But also Harrison did join, so I don't know if Harrison wanted to add to that, or anyone else. I saw David, you had come off of mute as well. Maybe accidentally. Carla, did you have something?
You know, I can, everything that Denise said about the American Job Center being everywhere is so true. I can only speak to what I know of the Big Island. And I think the Big Island AJCs do an amazing job. I was actually wondering, and I don't know if this is just a county specific question, but I was wondering if the flow of funds to the AJCs, to the programs, the adult and youth programs, allow them to serve their population without wait lists, because I have been aware of wait lists. And so sometimes I feel a disconnect with this discussion, because on one hand, you know, we're trying to increase traffic, and then on the other hand, there's individuals not being served because they're waiting for funds. And I don't think it's the fault of the American Job Center staff at all. And maybe there's a missing piece I don't understand. And if it's not a subject or matter for this meeting and conversation, my apologies, but that's my question and my input and comments. Thank you.
That's appreciated. I will call on Bennett.
Sure. Thank you. In direct response to Carla, because Carla and I have actually discussed this, and I think we're still trying to figure out exactly where the holdup is. Yeah, Carla. So, but you know what? You raised a good point, and I think that is a topic that perhaps we should tackle in a separate discussion and bring all the other relevant stakeholders, because that is indeed not acceptable, as you know. But my question actually, Vice Chair, is for Leynala, and she was talking about the media outreach. And I'm kind of curious in terms of how much they're setting aside monies for that. And the reason why this is relevant information for us, because there are plans, and again, plans is the operative word, to do an awareness campaign regarding AJCs from a statewide vantage point. So I'm curious whether maybe we should carve out the neighbor islands as an awareness campaign, since Oahu is already doing yours and we don't have to be duplicative, right? So I'm kind of curious how much you're setting aside and until when.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Bennett. Total across the adult dislocated worker and youth grants is $35,000. We set aside, it was approved from the budget modification from July 1 to December 31st. it looks like, well, I'm hoping that at least we can get the contract executed before the ending of the calendar year. As you know, the process takes a little bit. And then if it is approved by the board, we will, extend our partnership for another 6 months to the end of June 30th. Harrison has shared that this matter will be taken up on Thursday, October 24th at the full board meeting. So we're looking forward to that response. And the media campaign will be both for TV commercials as well as social media.
For 35,000, that's
Yeah.
kind of very,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the amount of money we could afford, given that we
Okay.
are really focused on training for our customers, work experience, etc. So, and we wanted to see if this indeed would be beneficial. If it does prove to be beneficial through the data that the contractor will be gathering for us, then we can look at extending that amount.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can do an offline conversation regarding this, Lay. Thank you. Appreciate
Sure.
that.
Thank you. And then Lynn, you had your hand up and then you put it down if you.
Yeah, I was just I'm just on YouTube kind of looking at American Job Center videos. But is there like one generic one for all of Hawaii versus individual ones for each island? I don't see like a generic one for all of Hawaii. And I'm just wondering if such a video was available and what efforts are made like to publicize via social media.
I think the short answer is no. The long answer is it goes into the soup. I think that'd be important because I think a lot of things are on the WDC website and then it just breaks everybody out. However, if monies have been approved to now be used for such things, then actually creating an AJC profile before, like, kind of breaking out into the littler ones, then not little, but into the pieces, then that would be a good thing. And thank you, Bennett, for bringing up the next question. So I think that we have talked, a bit about these, and kind of dovetailing on the question about social media. We do have a question, I think, right after this one. How effective have social media community events and other marketing tactics been in attracting clients? Because social media being free, has anybody been using that? Lay?
Yes, we have been using social media more so on the youth program side than on the adult side, because young people, they're with their phones all the time, and they so we know it is very important communication means for them. We use it to announce our hiring events, all of our activities, and it really has brought in a new dimension of communication to us. We also have created a brand for Work Hawaii as a whole. Some of you may have seen it. It's called Level Up with Work Hawaii, which does allow us to make it relevant for all of our customers. You can level up with employment, housing assistance, skill training, etc.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else using social media in that way or in a different way? Okay. So if we go to the next question, what innovative marketing ideas can we explore to better reach our target audience?
Chair, just sorry.
Sure.
Matt Stevens, just looking out for you. Matt Stevens has raised his hand.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Oh, sorry, it was last minute. I got inspired by the last question. I was wondering if there are any efforts to Do you have clients who've had successful interactions use social media to outreach to people in their own networks?
I like that idea, actually. Nothing like a unsolicited testimony.
Yeah, Matt,
Yeah.
that's a great idea. We definitely can talk to our contractor that's going to be chosen to implement our media our media campaign. We do have success stories on our customers that we produce every 3 months that we roll out at the AJCH. And there's been many conversations about that amongst new visitors. So we know that hearing testimonies from those being served, is really adds a lot of credibility to our work as well as our partnerships.
So Matt, I think along those lines, I didn't voice it, but I was thinking of like social media campaigns or contests, where at these hiring events or events that it's like, oh, tag or follow, like, share, those types of things. But again, that's like going into the realm of like, it's peeling things back a little bit, right? So as we kind of dip our toe into it, those are things I think will definitely come, because even as like a low, kind of try not to create more barriers, but it's like with the every 3 months, the set stories that you guys roll out, like once you have, it's like even taking that and now just putting that onto your social media and tagging and, all those things like down the line. So I'm no expert by any means. However, those things exist. So, okay. So anyone want to have any innovative practices or pilot programs that you've implemented that have shown promise?
I'd like to share something that we've done recently. Well, we actually started 6 months ago with the research and development of it. Now, we all know that one of the crucial strategies or items that we need to roll out is follow-up. Following up with our customers while they're in training, while they're employed. This is directly tied to our performance key indicators. So one of the things we created was this SMS text message. So from your Outlook, your emails, you can send a message to a customer's telephone number. For instance, you could say, give reminders like, hey, don't forget your appointment with me is coming up at 2 o'clock tomorrow, or, don't forget our hiring event, whatever. So these are used for reminders, and it goes straight from your email to their phone. Now, in order to be a part of that system, you have to opt in or opt out, right? So I believe we're all familiar with when we get reminders on our phones about upcoming appointments we might have. And so we're using that same strategy. It's something we developed with our City Department of Information and Technology that also was part of a partnership with the Honolulu Fire Department, and Verizon. So we are using it in our housing section, and we're going to start to roll that out in our work development section. So I just wanted to share that's our latest innovative practice.
That's awesome. Make it easy for people that way.
Vice
Anybody
Chair,
else?
just wanted to point out that there are 2 people who just joined us, Clinton and Eileen.
Welcome, Clinton Mercado and Eileen Caldwell.
Thank you.
And Thomas Chuck.
Thomas is new. Do you want to introduce yourself, Thomas?
Sure. Sorry. I was in a meeting with Georgia just now. So, aloha everyone. My name is Thomas Chalk. I work for the Creative Industries Division in DBED, and just been asked to start participating in Workforce Development Council. So, nice to meet everyone. I'm sure we'll get more chances to work together moving forward.
Thank you for joining, Thomas. We wish you were here like a few minutes ago. You could have jumped in on the whole social media and, and all of that creative.
Bummer. So sorry. So sorry.
It's okay, you're here. You can contribute now. Anybody else have anything that you want to add in terms of innovative practices or pilot programs?
Director Eileen, do you want to just introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Eileen Caldwell, the Area Director of Human Resources for the Marriott Hotels in Hawaii. And sorry I'm late. I had another call that
No
ran.
worries. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, welcome. And thank you, Bennett, for allowing Eileen to introduce yourself. I didn't realize that she had come on camera.
Clinton too. Clinton is the ED for Big Island.
Yeah, so Clinton, David, and Kevin, none of them actually were able to introduce themselves. Doug, you two, I just announced you all, but I didn't actually stop to allow you to introduce yourself. So if you wish to, you can do that now.
Hi, David Rodriguez, Department of Labor, Industrial Relations. I am the State's Equal Opportunity Officer.
Aloha, welcome.
Hi, this is Kevin. I don't think my camera's working, but Kevin Kimizuka, Workforce Development Division on Maui.
Welcome, Kevin.
Doug Adams, Research and Development in County of Hawaii.
Welcome. And then Clinton, if you want to introduce yourself, you can feel free to come off camera, come on camera and introduce yourself. Oh, your voice is coming out like a chipmunk.
Yeah, trust me, that's not his normal voice.
I'm gonna be honest, it might be your headset, maybe your battery or something, but yeah, thank you. Thank you for trying. We needed that. All right. So why don't we move on to the next question? Lei, you shared about the like group text or the SMS text. Then like just here, like we just have some notes about like possibly considering, virtual job coaching service that allows job seekers to connect with career advisors remotely. So kind of leveraging like these ideas to help leverage technology.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
even employer-led trainings where local businesses design and deliver training directly through the AJC, ensuring job seekers gain skills that are immediately relevant to the local job market. And then I think you guys already do, everywhere. You're showing it up everywhere in terms of career pop-ups, non-traditional spaces like Denise was mentioning earlier. And Bennett, go ahead. You're on mute still.
Just wanted to share that as an innovative idea, some states have actually started to do podcast or YouTube channel where it features local employers, success stories, workforce tips. So again, to just add another dimension to this discussion.
Thank you. And I think as Lynn was asking earlier, that possibly could be something on like the overall like AJC profile or something.
Also, when I was living on Maui, I would put on these Akaku produced shows, and it doesn't cost anything. All you need are like some volunteer crew to help out. Or alternatively, if we have like a statewide video, we could send like these videos to Olelo, Akaku, and their counterparts, and it can be shown for free. So there are a lot of zero cost opportunities that I'd be happy to help with in any way I can. Thanks.
Thank you, much appreciated, because I think individually, the AJCs may have content already that if we could maybe produce, if there's budget to produce something, put it together and then, produce or push out broadcast via Olelo Akaku and like you said, others, then, that's a place to start. Because sometimes it's not just having the access to put it out there, but actually having content. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted
Go
to
ahead.
chime in there that that's something that we here, because I'm in creative industry division for DBED, I'd be happy to kind of be a part of that or kind of lead the discussion on that aspect, because that's kind of in our wheelhouse. So yeah.
Just a little bit, right, in your wheelhouse, squarely in your wheelhouse. You are voluntold. Thank you. All right, Denise.
So I wanted to just add that I think probably pre-COVID, Department of Labor did come out with videos. There was a main video and it was for the AJC, and it was done one as a statewide video and then individual videos. That was really successful for us. It is outdated now, but we still use the videos. We use it in our work in the unemployment. So we continue to use all those videos. So maybe like if you folks could take a look at that and update it.
Update it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, but it really was great.
Good idea, Denise.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, sounds good, because we can update it. And then this is just me talking big, right? Update it and then cut it into little bite-sized pieces that can be used for social media and other, on your websites, and just kind of opens up the possibilities that way. Yeah, sounds good. Thomas is on it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, thank you, Denise. And then anybody else for this particular one before we move to the next question? Okay. So how can the council support? And I think this question is kind of like there's a little thread here, but I'll finish reading. How can the council support your AJC in overcoming current challenges and achieving greater impact? Denise, I know your hand's not up, but your hand's up.
Oh, sorry. Well, I wanted it to be up.
Okay, good.
I think, and I don't mean to speak for, our county AJC operator, but I think we could definitely benefit for some support from the council, or on developing affiliate sites or becoming comprehensive. I know Hawaii County is not comprehensive yet. I know we're R&D is working diligently on that, and we just have a few things that we need to work out. But I think having support from the council in comprehensive and then developing affiliate sites, I think it would be amazing.
Thank you. Lei?
Yes, I had one ask of the council that would really lend support for our youth program. I believe a few months ago, the unified plan was revised to change the definition of basic skill deficient. I understand that a policy is forthcoming, so that then the local areas can use that basic skill deficiency definition to enroll more individuals. So that's one specific that I can think of at this time. The other just comment is, I just really am excited about just all the communication that has come down from the council, having these types of meetings. Even the other one that's coming up shortly with where we're going to be looking at expenses. Yeah. And I think I am all for timely communication that gets us all on the same page. So thank you, Bennett and the council for really being taking the lead on ensuring that we get that communication and the opportunity to lend our insights. Thank you.
Thank you. And, you know, I think it never goes without saying, and just Bennett, you know, it's really just attributable to your efforts and your vision,
Thank you.
you know, to do this. So,
Quick question for Leynala. I thought the bulletin went out for the new definition.
Oh,
Not yet? Okay.
I haven't seen it, Bennett.
Okay. Because I saw the email from adult ed. Okay, so anyway, I'll circle with you on that note because it was supposed to be, because it was August when we approved that. Okay.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
okay. Any other requests or suggestions about how the council can support your AJC?
Well, I would like to also add that the council is made up of so much influential and amazing people, and I think oftentimes, you know, the local areas would love to be able to access their expertise in certain things, whether it be small businesses, entrepreneurship, you know, just to name a few. But you know, if it was maybe highlighting certain things where not just workforce development, but all the partners and even the providers. I think the providers for WIOA are a key audience that can also benefit from the expertise on the council. Financial literacy and apprenticeship, unions, all of it.
Bennett?
Yeah, definitely. And Denise, I'll circle with you the ideas that you might have. And I think the council members, and I'm, you know, speaking broadly, of course, are so supportive, and they would probably jump at the chance to be a resource for the AJC. So I can circle with you, Denise, as to specifics, and we will schedule it.
Lincoln would love to speak up, but his mic not working. So I've texted him, text me, now's your chance to speak up. But he said, I can't, my mic. But anyway, so.
Yeah, no problem. And then also to that point, Denise, I think that like Bennett said, so many of the council members would be very much willing, you know, to offer that kind of support, especially right now, you know, with the, even like that future of work, you know, conference that, you know, went to, it's like with the focus on K to career, you know, it's something that who knows better what their workforce needs are than the employers. Yeah, like the people who are sitting at the table actually know what they're looking for, and communicating that down would be super helpful.
Yeah, and that information, the information alone at the future of the work was so important, phenomenal, that yeah, I wish more people could have had access to that. Just the statistics alone, and in how we gonna do our future work was important. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I think knowing that, you know, we're facing the same challenges as 1973 with very few variations, it's like, wow, thanks. That's great. But Bennett, I'm not sure if your hand is still up or you just didn't put it down.
I can put it down.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Okay, so the last question we have, it's actually I think we kind of covered it, but this last one, but no, we kind of touched on it, Denise, when you asked, you know, what role can local businesses play in supporting the AJCs? It's actually kind of getting access, right, to their expertise and information, and getting information from them. So anything else you guys want to add to that maybe came up later? Is that this
Okay,
this point?
I have a point to make,
Go ahead.
Vice Chair. Yeah, this is under the innovative ideas. So one of the things that may be sadly lacking is the fact that um everybody has their own training or job fair, but there's no central location where you can access it. So apparently in Seattle, because Eric Pasco just brought back some materials, and there's just one source where people can go to for all the various job fairs that are going on. It's not piecemeal where, some of it is housed under DLIR, some of it is housed in the veterans, so that you just have one consolidated information. So that's one of the ideas that we're going to be looking at. So in an effort to align all our efforts.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome. Just like how you can go one place for the schedule for the farmers market. Not that I go, but I like the idea of it. So, but okay, thank you. So actually with that, I will actually turn it over to Bennett for the executive director's report.
Okay,
And for
thank
to give
you.
updates. Okay.
So before I do that, if I can just share about next steps that we're going to do, and I'm going to stop sharing just so that you have, you can take a look at what I'm saying. So for next steps, because I want to make sure that we're very mindful of the fact that, the information that you had shared is very important. I'm taking furiously some really, good notes. The thing when we're listening to this discussion and we hear from the AJCs, it's quite clear that you folks are doing an amazing job and doing your best in order to raise the level of awareness. But somehow there might be a disconnect, and that's why we're trying to just figure out what it is, because based on very informal polling, if you recall at the Future of Work conference, we had that Mentimeter. And when we ask, are you aware or are you familiar with the American Job Centers? Only 48% said yes. So there's like more than 50% who are not familiar. And yet this is a crowd that's supposed to be on workforce development. So you would imagine this is a crowd that would, be higher, but it's still at 50%. So we have our work cut out for us. We certainly, despite our efforts, there's something that's missing, and a missing ingredient that we need to overcome. So what it is, we're still trying to uncover it. And if you have questions, but based on as a next step, we're trying to put all this information together, and the Special Projects Committee is the one that's tasked to do this. And then we're hoping to have an awareness campaign and actually have some media outreach. So doing a awareness campaign, touch base. So in other words, you're establishing what the what do you call this? The prior ground. And then after the media outreach, we're going to then have another survey to find out how successful it's been. Right. So you're setting the foundation for the first survey, and then the next survey 6 months later would be to establish whether that awareness campaign has really taken. So that's in the works right now. I don't have any specifics, but just wanted to share with you what the next steps are. Okay, so moving on, Chair, if I can share.
While you're sharing, I just want to acknowledge our chair, Keith DeMello, has arrived. Welcome.
Hello, sorry, I couldn't join the first half of the meeting.
Perfect timing.
Should I proceed, Chair, or Harrison, I think, has a question.
And I'll turn it over to Keith.
Harrison, do you have a question before I proceed?
I do. Actually, everything that we're talking about here today, it's all good information and all that, but shouldn't this discussion here happen at our one-stop operators partner meetings rather than with the WDC? I mean, through the Special Projects Committee?
I guess here's where I'm coming from. The one stop is very localized. So this one, we're elevating it to a statewide level. So that hopefully the information, you have a good sense of what's going on at your AJC, not necessarily just that one stop. Albeit, I would suggest that the one stop operator should have been part of this discussion, not necessarily having us have that conversation during the one stop meeting.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure that none of the firewalls are being breached. With the one-stop operator actually the one in charge of the American Job Centers. You know what I mean? Sorry, I don't want to be that guy, but I just want to make sure because that was a finding for us.
So, but the council has a prerogative though, right? Don't you think? To be able to wrestle with this issue, how to improve the American Job Centers?
It should be, but we don't have all of our 4 partners here, right? All of our core partners.
That's your
Like
point.
like Title IV is not here, Adult Ed's not here. Our one-stop operate. Sorry, our one-stop operators aren't here, and that's part of it, right? We have half the core partners here, but not all of them, and everyone's equally important.
Well, we did invite them. They do sit at our council. And at the end of the day, though, this is a committee meeting. And then whatever information we derive from this will then be provided to the full board for further action. But
Great. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you looking out for us, Harrison. And I know you're armed with good intentions. Okay. Any other questions? And then I'm just going to proceed and then I'm going to turn it over to our chair. So Workforce Development Council has been very busy. As far as the unified plan, we are in the process of trying to put together a stakeholder summit, which is a synergy summit to engage the stakeholders on the next step, because part of our mandate is not just the development of the state plan, but also the implementation. So within the state plan, the unified plan, are tactical initiatives. And rather than just have the WDC be the only one who's involved, it really should be a statewide effort. So the intention, the objective of this summit is to bring all the various stakeholders together so that we can have a divide and conquer type of strategy. So people can feel invested that this is not just a WDC plan, this is a state plan. So that's happening December 9th. For those of you who are relevant to this conversation, you'll be receiving letters or emails regarding this as far as details. As far as the transition of the Workforce Development Council, as you know, as of July 1st, we are transitioning to a new structure. I'm very pleased to note that we are really being very deliberate in this approach. So we're having transition meetings between WDD, the Administrative Services Office, the Director's Office, and WDC. So it's a slow, laborious process, but I think very well noted that at the end of the day, we're going to have an MOU executed that will really delineate what the roles and responsibilities are, and there will be no ambiguity as far as those are concerned. For many of you, you are familiar with the Workforce Development Month that we just had in September. We had the Future of Work conference that was, from what I gathered, successful based on the survey as well as anecdotal comments that were provided us. And I think the highlight was the futurists. Sadly, we did not record that whole conference because many people have been asking, but unfortunately we didn't do it because we thought, okay, we're just going to have it. But in hindsight, we should have recorded it. So I think for the future of work conferences, we're going to do such. Okay, so and we had a Workforce Development Heroes. We appropriately honored the folks who were recognized, and that includes the Lifetime Achievement Award to David Lassner, and to the Legislator of the Year Award to Senator Donovan de la Cruz. And, you know, we had 2 honorees from Oahu, 1 from each of the neighbor islands. And then we also honored the finalists this year. So I think we had a last huddle to evaluate, and there's some minor changes, but I think next year we might have an increase of people who are nominating, because in fact, it raised the level of awareness when we had them at the Future of Work conference. I'm involved in the long-term care workforce task force. I'm actually chairing that. We're supposed to have a meeting this month, or November, I'm sorry, November. But I'll give you more information in the interest of time later on. So we have some upcoming events. For those of you who are board members, you know that we have a training academy. We're really trying to provide as much information, as much as technical background knowledge for the board members, so you would be in a better position to make good policy decisions. And we have it on our to-do list to do an economic trends seminar. This actually is speaks about, kind of similar to what Denise said, providing information to the relevant parties. So it's not necessarily workforce related, but I think information like, you know, where our economy is going would provide you with some context as you do your job. Chair, that's all I have. Oh, wait, hang on. This is the focus for the next quarter. It's kind of related to what we've been doing for this past many months, the state unified plan implementation, the transition. We're continuing to work with the board committees to make sure that they have a pinpoint focus. We're strengthening the relationships with the local boards and making sure that we have good coordination for better outcomes, and really putting our money where our mouth is. And as you can see, we are focused on improving the performance of the American Job Centers. Vice Chair or Chair, I turn it over back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, thank you, Dion, especially for running the meeting while I was taking care of another board meeting separately. So again, my appreciation. Thank you everyone else for your patience as well. I did want to circle back to the, I believe, item number 2 on the agenda in its original order, the chair report. The A and B items under there. The first is the update on the permitted interaction group structure for the upcoming 2025 legislative session. So on September 16th, this is more of an update, a status update. The Special Projects Committee did meet on September 16th, and in a roundtable discussion, we went through various options available to the WDC under a permitted interaction group framework under HRS 92-2.5. So 2 options in particular were considered. What the first was to delegate authority to 2 members of the WDC to lead legislative efforts on behalf of the council. This option would concentrate responsibility in those 2 members, but allow for a more agile response to legislative developments. And that's compared to option 2, which would allow all board members to participate in drafting and approving legislative testimony when deadlines don't allow for full meetings. This option would have provided broader input from all members, but could be less nimble in response to fast-moving legislative issues, which is often the case during the legislative session. There's often very little advance notice before hearings. So after discussion, the committee did vote on recommending, and again, this would be a recommendation to the full WDC to take action, but the recommendation would be to form a permitted interaction group based on delegating authority to 2 members, with the nominees being myself, Keith DeMello, and Tui Scanlon, under the guidance set forth by the full Workforce Development Council. So I guess what the committee emphasized was the need for the PIG to have both private sector and labor representation, which through both of us, that would be the case, to be nimble. And so the next step would be, this would be conveyed or will be conveyed as a recommendation to the full WDC at its next meeting in November for the council to take action. I'll stop there. If there are any questions. Okay. This will be summarized in the Special Projects Committee's report to the WDC. And I believe those are submitted with the agenda. And the next item was the update on protocols to nominating a member to the state board. A roundtable discussion on the protocols did take place. What I'm able to report is that the issue is still being researched with our relevant partners, and we'll be able to provide updates when they're available. Not quite sure if this will be in time for the next meeting, but I believe so. So we'll make sure that those items are represented in that report. The discussion did follow the same general framework as what was discussed at the last full WDC. But I didn't want to necessarily get ahead of it since we are doing a little bit more research into those protocols. Not as much detail, but I guess if there are any other questions, I'd do my best to answer them now. Okay, if not, next up, let's see. I believe we're on announcements and constituent comments. So at this time, the public is welcome to announce upcoming events and comment on relevant issues that were not included in this meeting's agenda. Please be advised that in compliance with Sunshine Law, the committee cannot discuss or act on these issues that were not included on the agenda, but issues raised during this period may be included on future agenda for the committee's consideration. If there are any comments now, we do ask that they be limited to 2 minutes for each speaker. So if there are any public testimonies, okay, it appears not to be so. So looks like we actually might adjourn well within our time frame. I do want to note that the next meeting is tentatively scheduled in February 2025. That's for this Special Projects Committee. But the council staff is still finalizing those dates for all committees. And these meetings will be held via Zoom and as usual in a meeting within the DLIR building. So with that, unless there's any other business, I'll call for adjournment. So there being no further business, let's adjourn 2:42 p.m. And thank you all for your participation. Good to see you.
Thank you, everyone.
Aloha.
Bye.
Thank you.
Aloha.